Okay, take a few minutes for everyone to get in.
Do we have a final number on the registrations?
We have about 75.
Nice.
Hmm, here we go. Hello, everyone. We'll get started in just a few moments. We're just waiting for a couple of minutes for everyone to kind of enter in. If you don't mind, just for the chat purposes, I want to make sure everything's working well. If everyone could just maybe type in a quick hello or where you're logged in from, that would be great. Would help me greatly. Oh, hello, Angela. Thank you. Awesome. Portland, Oregon. Gentle Pet Crossing. Great. Thank you, everyone. Australia. Awesome. All right. Sounds like looks like everybody's getting in, and so I don't want to hold everyone up. We want to go ahead and get started. And just first of all, let me welcome you all to our webinar today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Donna Shugart Bethune. I'm the executive director here with the IAPC. And if I haven't met you, I'd love to meet you. And the best place to do that is come to our conference in San Antonio. So I hope you've already registered. And if you haven't, please know that registration is open until August 31st. You get a discount off of registration. After that date, the price does go up. And if you would like to talk to me about the conference at all, please feel free to give us a call here at the home office. Just a couple of other updates for you for the IUPC before we get started. We have a lot of wonderful new certification programs that are rolling out, and I'd love for you all to be a part of that. Our certification for water cremation actually is going to be held for the first time ever, historical first, to have a certification in that at our San Antonio conference. So after that, it will be available online. And we also have several other programs coming, rolling out online in October and November. So watch for that. And one other update, we do have our Certified Pet Crematory Operator program is now in two languages, or three languages, English, French, and also Spanish. So keep all of those wonderful updates in mind. And again, if you are interested in going to the conference and you want to find out more, give me a call here at the home office. And without further ado, I'd like to, first of all, thank our esteemed panelists today. Very excited to have this webinar. This is something that we get a lot of questions here at the home office and a lot of excitement around the webinar today because we have, this is something that is near and dear to all of our hearts. You're dealing with it on a daily basis. And that's navigating the challenges of, the supply chain for memorial products throughout the past few months. And I know it's been especially difficult and challenging for all these guys here with us today. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce. We have with us today, we have Jamie Mania, who is the founder and CEO of Forever Pets. We also have with us Jeremiah Neville, who is the Client Solutions Manager for Terry Bear Urns and Memorials. And then Ryan Bader, who is co-founder of Quick and Simple Imports. So guys, we have the experts of the experts here with us today. So as we go through this process, they're going to each tell a little bit about themselves, their company, and then we're going to cover three main topics today. But as we go through the process, please put your questions in chat and I will make sure to get those questions answered as we go through. So throughout the time that we're here, please put your questions into chat. The three main focuses for today are increased costs for business and consumers, supply chain disruptions and restructuring, and increased uncertainty and complexity within the supply chain. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jamie. And if everyone will give me a quick second, I'm going to share the screen. But Jamie, you can go ahead and talk a little bit about your company and Forever Pets.
Sure. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes. So go ahead.
No, Thank you, Donna. Welcome, everyone. Just briefly, and it kind of sounds a little boring, Forever Pets is a small family-owned business with 12 employees, so we are quite small. We pride ourselves in offering same-day shipped, high-quality custom urns to crematoriums, funeral homes, and aquamation facilities nationwide. We offer a broad array of competitively priced service urns as well in wood, metal, and fabric. We were incorporated in 1996 and in the state of Minnesota, and our business has served the pet memorial industry now for 28 years. Again, my topic is, do I click Donna on the next screen? I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Or, well, I can read it. I can talk about it, certainly. I don't know
uh,
what people are seeing, if they're seeing the slide two at this point.
they're seeing the Trump tariff policies mean higher
Oh,
prices.
thank you. It doesn't switch for me. So I
Okay.
got the easy topic. You got the problem. And I've been thinking about this for a long time, but the bottom line is the Trump tariff policies mean higher prices for everyone. Um, some of the other problems, quite obviously, is that the majority or a large majority of pet memorial products are sourced from both China and India. And as the chart shows below, and you are probably already aware and heard many times, those are two countries that have not been settled yet with the punitive duty or duty rates. And that's traumatic to our industry, obviously. Those rates, those punitive duty rates are additive to the normal duty rates. So I paid as much as 58.5% on one small China container in the last few months. So it's quite considerable in terms of price increase shock. Um, the next screen just continues some of these issues. And I'm sorry if I step on any topics that the guys after me are going to talk about. But problems include duty rate fluctuations. I was in New Zealand for a wedding, and every day I turned on the news, and the Trump duty rate in China was going up 10% a day. I was having a heart attack. Um, Importers, obviously, we have to fund these duties up front, 100%, and then hope to recover that through our customer sales over what might be 8, 12, 15 months. It's quite devastating to our borrowing capacity. It has a huge impact on our borrowing capacity and is causing a lot of strain for importers specifically. Um, Greater document scrutiny. We've been seeing a lot more documentation, just enormous, from phytosanitary certificates when we never were asked before, detentions, investigations, greater inspection rates, and then there's storage charges at port when we resolve the paperwork problem. Just the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol is not only, they're just getting tough for many reasons, but they're raising all their inspections. Also, other problems include deposits that we've already sent overseas, kind of puts us in a bind. We've got that money over there. Do we want to switch to a different country, or we feel obligated to follow through with the transaction despite these outrageously high duty rates? Very painful. And the ability to shift our sourcing to different countries is very difficult and very challenging. Of course, it can't be done overnight, maybe in a year's time, but that's a problem. Now, some of our suppliers are trying to accommodate this by absorbing some of the duty costs. Maybe they'll say, we'll give you a 12.5% discount to offset. But our concern also was that for them to give up some of these deep discounts, what corners are they going to try to take in quality control and production? As I was just mulling all this over, and I'm not an economist, and I'm no economist by means, but this next screen, macroeconomic perspective, I'm just so curious. Why is Trump doing this for a lot of different reasons? And this is just a brief revelation. The value of U.S. imports last year was 4.1 trillion. The value of our exports, 3.2. So the net deficit of 900 billion is an interesting number to me, because as I've analyzed the settling of duty rates nationwide, worldwide, you'll see that some of the more favored countries like Japan and the EU might get 15%, most of Asia 20%. It kind of feels like Trump is targeting a 20% duty rate additionally on everyone. And I thought, wow, that's an interesting number. Now, if I applied 20% to our value of imports of 4.1 trillion, you get $820 billion, which is ironically very close to the deficit number. So I just can't help but think the Trump economic advisors are, this was their sit down 5 minute decision was, we can close that gap 100% if we just put 20% on everything. May not be true, but and then I started thinking with 330 million Americans, that suggests about $2,485 additional tax or charge on every man, woman, and child in America. And this is simply a cost of living increase in many ways, or I call it a national sales tax. And I kind of chuckle because Republicans have never been the ones to raise taxes, but some would argue Trump's not a true Republican, but he's raised taxes. And then I just went further down the chain, I just kind of concluded this is not scientific, but it looks like to me like it might be a 3 or 6% national sales tax on the American consumer, kind of across the board. Kind of an interesting approach to resolving this issue, but very painful to us in the pet memorial business. Very, very difficult. And small and large companies, very difficult. Okay. My last area I want to just look at, I think you guys might want to do this offline for yourselves, but I just thought, what about a sample company of 15% on this first screen sample company in the upper left? They do $100 in sales and they net $15 of income. Their cost of goods sold is $45. And I thought, what does the 20% duty suggest this company would have to adjust pricing by? And if you look at it, 20% duty reduces their $15 of income to $6 in the center. On the far right, using the China model here, just for the heck of it, a 55% duty drops their $15 in profit to a negative 9.75. I mean, significant decline, obviously. So the next question I asked myself was, how much does this 20% duty, 15% margin company have to raise their price to recover that lost income? And I came up with obviously this is simple math, but it's 9%. I'm sorry, I think that graph is the 10% margin. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there's the 15. I'm confused. Yeah, I'm so sorry. In any event, from what I'm seeing down, I think it is the other one, the previous graph that I was there.
Sorry.
I was trying to
Yeah,
talk
there
from
you
this
go.
one. Yeah.
Sorry.
So there's that 9% price increase in the middle column to return to $15 income. 24.75% over to the right price increase to return a 15% margin company back to its 15% margin. And then to complete my discussion, I'll go on to the next slide, which is a 10% margin company. I mean, again, these are just examples and you can change the percentages. This company in a 20% duty market, the conclusion is they'd have to raise their prices 11%. And in a China market, would have to raise their prices 30.25% to restore to profitability. Therein, and that's kind of the end of my part, and I'd gladly hand it over to Jeremiah or Donna, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. Sorry, I'm gonna pick up the other. Hang on. Sorry, everyone. Give me just a second. Okay. My apologies, everyone. I'm just trying to navigate here. Uh,
Jeremiah, this is the part where you're supposed to give us a song and dance.
Yeah, there you
yeah,
go. Tell a
yeah, that
couple
would be
jokes.
great. I apologize.
Yeah,
Here we
I should
go.
have had something ready.
There we go. Can we see that, everyone?
Yes,
Yeah, if you
there
hit
we
that
go.
present button, it should probably pop up full screen.
If I the same button up here at present.
Yeah, that little guy.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Is
It seems like
everyone's
it's not.
if chat could please tell me if you're seeing that okay. For some reason, I think it's bringing, when I click that one, it's bringing up the other slide. So I apologize if it's a little small, everyone.
You could try go to the slideshow tab and
They,
then
it,
play.
yeah.
That might
Sorry.
work. I don't know.
Looks like they see slide one. So, okay, we're
All right.
good.
And then Donna, are you going to move the slides ahead for me when I need to, or
Um,
can I do that?
yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I will. Sorry. Yep. We'll go that way. Sorry. Thank you. Go ahead,
Sounds
Joe.
good. Well, I'd like to tell everyone a little bit about Terry Bear and what we do before we get started on the tariff slides here. If you could move to the next slide. Uh, Terry Bear. Um, I'm not seeing the next slide. Is that coming up?
And,
Yeah, you might just have
uh,
to click on the left slides, like number two, maybe. Seems like it's
well,
yeah,
I
a
think
hard
everyone's
time.
seeing slide two. They're seeing it. I don't know that if you can see it as a presenter. I think it's probably because it would be better if you actually opened the program if I shared it and
Oh,
if I gave you control to share. So I apologize. I think that's probably
in
the issue.
in the chat, they're saying that they're not seeing that second
Oh, you're
slide.
not seeing slide two?
Yeah. And
Mm-mm.
the slides aren't that spectacular, but it kind of helps.
But they
See
are.
the
Donna,
Uh,
just on that left side, the left navigation panel, I think you can click the number two slide and it should show the number two slide.
hmm. See, when I do that, it actually goes to the third slide. So so
Oh
sorry,
no.
everyone. I've never had this problem before. So hang on one second.
oh,
Uh, I'm so sorry. You're only seeing slide one. Hang on one second. I think it has to do. I'm so sorry, everyone. Give me just a second. Does that help?
there you go. They're moving. Yep. So that works. Slide two is up. So at
Yes.
Terry,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Sorry.
no problem. No, that works. Always a couple of technical difficulties to work through sometimes. So. No, at Terry Bear, we provide urns and memorials to the pet loss industry. We do have a human component of our business, but we offer the affordable standard urn options in a number of different materials. We also do the upgrade urn options in metal, resin, ceramic. We do photo urns, pet chests, all that stuff. In addition to having an entire engraving department. So we can engrave everything from a small piece of cremation jewelry all the way up to regular urns. We can do photo printing on urns. And then we even have a highly customizable marble urn that we introduced a couple years ago that our engraving department uses a lot of their artistic ability to really personalize those memorials. Flip to the next one. One of the things we're proud about is our Memory of a Lifetime ordering website. Customers can go on there and place their orders. Um, it offers real-time inventory. So when you go onto our website, you can see if we're out of stock of something. So that way you can tell the family, hey, there's a little bit of a wait time on this urn, or you can have them choose something else if they don't want to wait. It also uses our Quick Proofs technology where you can type in what you want engraved on an urn and it will show you immediately what that urn is going to look like. And then you can get approval from the family and get the sign off and submit the order right online. So we try and make it really efficient to order urns from us through this ordering website. And then flip one more. And we've been around for a while where we've always been a reliable supplier to the industry. We definitely have a lot of insight into the industry. A lot of times, customers will call us and just ask, where can I get this urn from? And if we don't know, if we don't have that urn, we usually can track down who sells it and help people out that way. We have a wonderful customer service team. So even if you don't get a hold of a live person when you call us, just leave a message. We'll call you back as soon as we can. And we have fast turnaround time as far as anything from, a small piece of cremation jewelry all the way up to a couple of pallets of urns. We can turn that around quickly and efficiently. So, Don, if you can move one more slide, we'll get into the tariff discussion here, presentation. Um, I'm assuming everyone's familiar with IEPA, and that's the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, and that's basically what gives the executive branch the authority, the power to regulate foreign commerce. And so that's one of the tools within that act is the tariffs that Jamie talked about, and that's what's been causing a lot of headaches in our industry as of late. And it's really interesting. I know Ryan's going to talk a little bit about the uncertainty that all these tariffs bring, but it was funny. A while back, I was in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill during Liberation Day, which was April 2nd. It was when Trump announced his next iteration of tariffs. And walking through the different buildings, talking to the staff in the senator's office and at the House of Representatives, nobody on Capitol Hill really had a clue which way the tariffs were going to go, and everyone was waiting for the big announcement that day. And it was very interesting when the announcement finally came out. Everything went quiet in the House and Senate buildings. Everyone was checking their phones, looking at the screens in the offices to see who got hit with the big tariffs, who was spared. And it just goes to show if people on Capitol Hill that work close to the issue, the lobbyists, everyone on there don't really know what's going to go on with the tariffs. It's really hard in the pet industry to really predict anything, and it does affect how we conduct our business, right? So if we flip to the next slide, all this uncertainty is going to create a lot of challenges. Um, I'm just going to flip to my notes here. And, a couple of these challenges, Jamie went over the increased pricing to customers. I mean, tariffs create that immediate cost increase, and it forces companies, suppliers like us to reevaluate how we do things. So, for instance, at Terry Bear at this moment, we're absorbing the tariffs until we can figure out if there's going to be a more settled tariff policy with the different countries. But this isn't a sustainable model for us. We can't absorb these tariffs forever, and we will do it, as long as we can throughout this year. And eventually, we're going to have to pass on some of those expenses to our customers. And in order to avoid doing this, we're going to have to look at resourcing some of our products to other geographical areas. So we're hoping the administration will settle on lower rates for certain countries, but we'll see what happens. And when we talk about the financial burden of this, it's not only the immediate increase in prices and costs, but there's definitely a strain on working capital for suppliers. So like Jamie said, when our shipments come in, we have to pay U.S. Customs the tariff immediately. And then, that product might sit in our warehouse for a little bit before we can ship it, invoice it, and get paid by our customers. So there's a delay in recouping that cash, and it kind of puts pressure on our cash flow management. But we're monitoring the situation regularly, and hopefully things will smooth out in the future. Um, One of the things that we're doing and a lot of companies are doing is rebalancing our supply chains and trying to avoid as much disruption as we can. So moving production around to different countries and training new manufacturing partners on new product production, it requires a lot of resources and investment. And, we're lucky here at Terry Bear. We do have an overseas team that's able to go in and help us find sources, help us train, and help us monitor quality as they make products for us. So, but this still presents the challenges of managing multiple suppliers across different time zones with different languages and cultures. Quality control is always an issue with diversified suppliers. What's square to one supplier may not necessarily be square to another supplier. And like Jamie mentioned, again, there's documentation and compliance requirements that vary by country that you have to keep track of. So, and then let's not forget, many companies are trying to rebalance their sources. It's not just the pet loss industry that's figuring out how to, negate some of these tariffs. All industries are going to different countries and trying to find what the best solution is to minimize the cost to their customers. So, with all the change in production, it makes our inventory planning a little more challenging. But of course, we're committed to finding sustainable product sources for our customers, as everyone is, and we're trying to minimize the cost of these tariffs going forward. So, because of all the kind of resourcing that is going on for us, at least at Terry Bear, we're gonna be adjusting our product assortment come 2026 as we move into that year. We'll have a little different look to our products because of all the resourcing. Let's see if we can flip one more slide. And as we resource, there's going to be all kinds of planning challenges that emerge, forecasting complexity. I mean, historical data that we've been able to use over the years to help forecast, it's going to become less reliable when our products are a little different. Our customer is going to want something that's a little different at the same rate that they did, in years past. And different suppliers have different minimum order quantities and lead times, makes it a little more challenging to forecast. And then we have to deal with the seasonality patterns that shift with the new geographical regions that we operate in. Obviously, we all know in India, we have to plan around monsoon season. In China, we have to plan around Chinese New Year. So we have to figure out the different patterns in the other countries that we might be dealing with in the future and forecast around that. So there's going to be inventory management dilemmas. How much safety stock should we have for customers? We have to account for variable lead times with the new factories. And we have to figure out, of course, everybody is trying to avoid stockouts. So our customers, are they over ordering? And how do we forecast if we know that versus are they under ordering, waiting to see what happens with pricing? So we have production planning disruptions when you're dealing with new factories. There could be different schedules you have to think about. There may be rework on products that don't meet the quality standards that we require. And so it all leads to different coordination challenges that I talked about before, managing the multiple suppliers across different time zones and all the different things that go into that. So the market uncertainty, there's the ever-changing tariff rates are going to make it really difficult to set pricing. Like I said, we're not currently passing on the tariffs until we see it get a little more settled. But I think we can expect some inflation in the industry. And so far, we've been hearing from our customers and their families that people are open to these price increases because they're seeing the tariffs in the news every day. So I think in general, people are are expecting price increases coming up here in the next, couple of months to year. And I think that'll make things a little easier as we shift into this different environment with the tariffs and inflation and that type of thing. And a final slide, just to kind of sum it up, some final thoughts. At Terry Bear, as well as the other suppliers, we're committed to addressing all these challenges that we're facing today, and we're going to face more in the future. So we're going to continue to strive to be a reliable supplier and consistent with quality products. And we're going to really try and minimize cost increase for our customers whenever possible. So with that, I too hope to see everyone in San Antonio, and then I think it's on to Ryan to talk more about this uncertainty and complexity that these tariffs have caused.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Jeremiah. And again, I encourage everyone to throw your questions up there, and we'll go ahead with Ryan, and then we'll open it up for questions and answer. Ryan, I'm going to let me do my stop share again. Hang on one second and see if I can. I just want to make sure I can.
That's a tricky one. Making you use all different platforms. Sorry.
I, hang on. Let me see. I just need to.
I've never used Canva for a presentation before, but it's pretty awesome. You can do a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah, you can. Hang on. See if I have no. Hang on one second, everyone. Just give Give me just a quick second. Hang on.
Yeah, remember if you just pull it up and then that top right where it says present right through
Yeah.
the web browser, you should be able to pull it right through.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to, the problem is I think I'm going to have to go to my mail to get it. Sorry, everyone. Give me just a second. Okay. So hang on. Let me try it now. I just need to find it. Did I do it?
Yeah, I see it. Now if you just hit
Yeah.
that present button, it should go full screen, I think.
Okay. You guys are like, they're testing my technical skills greatly. So now I know how I'm gonna, gonna get better at this. Okay.
Yeah,
Present full
yep, and then
or,
go down to that bottom purple where it says present.
okay.
Boom.
There we go. All right. My chat people, can you just confirm that you see this well? Perfect. Okay. I love that word. Perfect. Yay. Okay.
Awesome.
Take it away,
Sweet.
Ryan.
All right. Well, thank you for the introduction, Donna, and thanks for having us today. Obviously, we're in some historic times, and these are some wild things that we're experiencing. But I'm Ryan Bader. I am one of the co-founders of Quick and Simple Imports. In the top right, you'll see my beautiful family. We just went on a big camping trip. This is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan at Fayette State Park. It's a historic park, and it was pretty cool. That's my wonderful wife Kelly, who quit her job as a teacher to come work for us. My son David and my daughter Kayla. Um, Next slide, please, Donna.
Okay. There we go.
All right, so about us, Quick and Simple Imports is a product sourcing company. We source custom and standard products directly from the manufacturers, some abroad, mostly abroad, some domestic. We stock an entire catalog of standard cremation supplies, and we strive to be a one-stop shop so that you've got everything that you need in our catalog. We're not there yet, but we're close. We have a full catalog of MDF wood and tin urns, couple types of pet body bags, custom paper packaging, urn bags like velvet and burlap, polymer clay, ink prints, and keepsake accessories. Our goal is to add value to your business by providing quality products at industry best prices. We manage it all. We vet factories, make sure that they've got the proper export licenses. We qualify them to make sure that they can handle our capacity needs. We manage the production and quality control. We line up the logistics, customs clearance, and then, of course, the final mile of warehousing and order fulfillment. Um, this will be our 13th year of product sourcing. Every year has given us new experiences and knowledge of how to, solve this complex riddle of international trade. We can source any product. We've done custom fasteners like screws and bolts, stuffed animals for casinos and other promotional companies, air conditioning units, makeup products. But our roots are with pet aftercare. A few of us here have worked in the pet crematory, and it's such a rewarding experience to be able to help a family through such a trying time. And while we may not be helping families directly anymore, we feel that if we stick to our values and our vision, we're indirectly helping families through the challenging time with quality memorial items and grief support literature. If you don't have our catalog and price list, please reach out to me after the webinar, and I'd be happy to send you a copy. Donna, could you go to the next slide, please? I'm not going to get really in depth of the order process, but I just kind of wanted to show and highlight that it's a lengthy process that requires planning and execution. Typically takes about 4 to 6 months, and QSI primarily utilizes ocean freight to keep costs down, which is a significant duration of that time. A lot can happen in 6 months. My kids had 3 haircuts. We went through 3 weather seasons. My daughter lost 4 teeth. My son was playing on a casual house league baseball team. He got called up to play on a travel team, and he just made an elite team, the Oakland Reds, and we'll be traveling all over. I'm excited about it, but it's going to be busy. I've gained 10 pounds. I've lost more hair. So a lot goes on in 6 months. Clearly importing is a pretty complex and multi-layered process. And if it wasn't something that required a specialized set of skills, anyone could do it. But if you're not doing it every day, there are so many pitfalls, and we have really learned to expect the unexpected. Donna, could you please go to the next slide? A lot of the issues that we face and delays that we come across are somewhat predictable, and some of those are like raw material availability, seasoning of wood products. Real wood products take time to be seasoned properly before they can be made. And as Jeremiah mentioned, monsoon season is something that can really impact that. Um, our vendor capacity versus our needs. A lot of the items that we sell, we need multiple vendors to be able to keep up with the demand for them. Um, Monsoon season can delay production and can make packaging quite a challenge. The availability of freight space is a predictable issue. Getting, our sailing will get rolled over to the next vessel, to the next vessel. One time it took us over a month to get our container onto a vessel after it left a vendor. Um, there's also crunch time before peak season kicks in. Those rates are really expensive and elevated, so we try to avoid that big rush when everyone's trying to get all their Christmas gifts, here, in October, November, so they can sell everything. Customs delays are super common. Customs exams, having to submit additional documentation to make sure that we're in compliance. Um, and then, availability of vessels. After COVID, they weren't processing containers fast enough. There was over 100 container ships just sitting outside at anchor outside of LA. It was 2 to 3 weeks to get in. That's reduced significantly, but it's still common. It takes time to get our containers onto a rail from the port. And even waiting on specialized equipment for the final delivery. Our clay containers, for example, they're 48,000 pounds. So we need a triaxle chassis to get that delivered, and it's not common equipment that a lot of carriers have. These are all common challenges and delays, but as you know, the newest challenge is, drum roll, next slide, please. The uncertainty and complexity of tariffs. In the words of the great Mike Tyson, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And these tariffs are a big punch to us small businesses importing goods from overseas. We could be 3 months into a purchasing plan, and then boom, our costs just doubled overnight. Talk about a moving target. We try everything to get that, to be right on, right in the center and the bullseye, and halfway through our purchasing plan, it changes. It's really hard to manage. The tariffs cause inability to execute that original plan, which makes keeping our supply chain process smooth and affordable a lot more difficult. The changing in prices can also change consumer buying habits, and this impacts our long-term planning and can cause inventory shortages and surpluses. The unpredictable nature of today's tariff talks are creating serious price volatility. Overnight, an order that we have going could cost double. I don't care how strong or big of a company you are, no company can just double their costs and keep on moving smoothly. So pricing has to change accordingly to continue operations. Don, if you could go to the next slide, please. Now, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the most recent example of the first conversation of tariffs, the big one with China, when our president enacted the 145% tariff. When that announcement came, supply chain halted. I'm sure you guys all remember the childhood game Red Light, Green Light. Well, we're playing it in real life. Overnight, everyone checked their stock levels to determine if they could sit on, if they could sit tight and ride out the storm. One of my trusted freight advisors told me that nearly all of his bookings were canceled. We were one of the few ones that had to keep moving because, well, we need inventory to keep sending pets home. That was a big red light. Red light. In a period of 24 hours, demand tanked. Carriers couldn't fill ships, so they sent their vessels to other ports in the world that were still moving freight. If you were trying to ship, your sailing date would get pushed back week over week as they were trying to, fully, stock these ships before they sailed. Then a few weeks later, the pause happened. The tariff pause was announced. Well, there's your green light. And all importers said, "Oh God, let's go. Let's ship our stuff. Ship it now." But wait, where are all the vessels? They were not in China anymore. They moved them to other ports. So freight demand skyrocketed, and so did the freight rates. All of a sudden, freight is flying out of China. 10 to 20 days later, guess what's happening? Our U.S. ports are packed with vessels trying to unload. In July, the LA and Long Beach port broke its record. They unloaded over 1 million containers off of vessels in July. This is certainly from that big push that happened the month before of, oh, now we're, oh, everybody's got 90 days to get their goods. Let's go, get them going. All of this created delays, increased costs, more headaches to this already challenging process. The dynamic nature of imported product pricing causes consumer buying habits to change, which can really skew our inventory and projections, as Jamie and Jeremiah said. The tariffs erode QSI's profitability, and any price increase can erode our customers' profitability, which we don't want. Um, Tariffs are certainly changing consumer buying habits, and the National Retail Federation is projecting a 5.6% decrease in import volumes from last year over this year. And then just last week, the tariff pause that was supposed to end, well, they extended it for another 90 days. Again, moving target. Like, how do we keep up with this? It's a real challenge. So what can we do? We can look at other countries to make products, restructure existing manufacturing plans, adjust logistics, a lot of the things that Jeremiah mentioned, but those things don't happen overnight and they're very challenging. Or you can wait for the dust to settle and then, see what we have to do to make some major changes. Donna, if you could go to the next slide, please. Our response to combat this is as diverse as our product offering. We find new ways to consolidate freight to help keep costs down. We've pushed all of our vendors to get in the trenches with us and negotiate temporary pricing while these tariffs are enforced. Jim, our other co-founder, and I are constantly talking about the tariff talk of the day or of the week and trying to strategically plan to fight it off and maintain current pricing. We've added communication tools to our repertoire and our customers to try to keep our customers informed. And it seems like as soon as we have a plan, a new announcement is made. And so we're just riding the wave, trying our best to hit this moving target. If you could please go to the next slide, Donna. Um, Among all of this uncertainty, one thing is for sure. QSI is CT-PAT certified. You might be wondering, what the heck is CT-PAT? CT-PAT certified means a company has been certified by U.S. Customs and Border Protection as a low-risk participant in the Customs Trade Partnership Against Terrorism program. This certification signifies that QSI has implemented robust security measures throughout its supply chain to prevent terrorism and/or other illegal activities. CTPAT certification is voluntary, but it offers benefits like faster border inspections and reduced examination fees. If you could please go to the next slide. It took us over 2 years to become in full compliance of CTPAT procedures and to fully implement it. You could think of CTPAT like TSA PreCheck or the Fast Pass at your local amusement park or at Disney. We're really proud of this certification, and it can give you assurance of minimal delays and a smooth, consistent supply chain. Look at all these great companies who have the CTPAT certification. It feels pretty good to stand tall with this group. Next slide, please, Donna, and last slide. To wrap things up, this is a challenging historic time. So try to work closely with your vendors to see what's coming down the pipeline and what they're advising. We learned through the pandemic, please don't buy up all the TP because then there's no TP for other butts. We all want to do one thing, and that's to make sure we keep sending pets home in a timely fashion. So just communicate with us. If you have questions, please feel to reach out. I really want to give credit where credit's due. Our summer intern, Matthew, helped put this content together. He's a sophomore at Michigan State University, and I think his eyes really opened this summer to how complex what we're doing is and the tariffs and how they actually impact consumers and businesses. But that wraps it up for me. So I'll pass it back to Donna, and thank you all for listening to me for the last 10 minutes.
Awesome. What a wealth of information. I think everyone would agree that we've received today. Do have a couple of questions. This one is from Courtney. What can we do to best prepare for tariffs and inventory issues? And also, how many months of inventory do you recommend that we keep on hand if possible? And I'll throw that out to the group. Ryan, if you want to start and the other two kind of jump in as well.
Sure. Well, I don't know how to prepare for the tariffs and the issues. And realistically, I think the best thing is to just be open-minded and know that everybody is in the same boat. We're all trying to see what that wild card is going to be. We're all trying to make good, smart, ethical business decisions for our customers and also maintain operations and maintain our business. When it comes to inventory on hand, I think that's a personal, item. It depends on how much space you have on hand, how much cash you have available to be able to stock up on inventory. Um, you know, Depends on your size too. Some crematories that are large may want 6 months of inventory buffer, and some that aren't as large, they may only be able to manage a month, month to month ordering. So I think that's more of an individual approach when it comes to inventory levels. But in preparation, I would just say, you know, be open, be understanding, ask questions, and maybe Jeremiah or Jamie might have something to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Ryan. It's really depends on your business and how you want to allocate resources. But I would say if you could be flexible to substitutions, I think in this time, customers are flexible or families are flexible. If they're used to a certain standard earn, you sub in maybe a different one while product is coming in. And then yeah, I think Ryan summed it up pretty good with just managing it the best you can. We just can't predict what's going to happen.
And
Jane.
my only add-on is right. I mean, it's what we can afford, of course, but that's kind of my existence as a middleman in the pet earn business. I'm a just-in-time supplier. That's my responsibility, and I take that seriously. And I must be the highest priced vendor here because we have lots of stock. And sometimes people come to us as a person of last resort. And I'm not taking shots at my competition, but we are seeing an uptick. But yeah, I mean that's a great question. We're asking ourselves that all the time. How much inventory do we have to keep? And I'm sorry you have to ask that question, because we collectively we've got three great vendors here, and there's probably several others that you should be able to satisfy your needs. But it's getting tough right now for some individuals. We've moved ahead full force. We haven't changed our buying habits. We're just paying the duty and absorbing it, like
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Jeremiah mentioned. I'm sorry. I'll leave it at that. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
There's another question that Martin had I thought was pretty interesting too. Martin's out of Australia. I thought Trump's plan was to get more manufacturing in America. Will your industry be able to manufacture in America and not import, or is that pretty much how do you see that? I guess that's from him. His question.
Well, I would, my opinion about stateside manufacturing, especially with lower cost items like urns and bags and things like that, is that American manufacturing is expensive. And when a large manufacturing facility evolves, it unionizes typically to make sure that the environment and the working environment is good for those people. And all those things come with costs and limitations on production. So, even for example, a $5 box that we sell from China, you add a 30% tariff on it, and now that box is $6 or $7. You couldn't get that box made in America for less than 15. You'd be looking at probably $20 a box. So I think there's some higher end items that may make sense to manufacture stateside, but I really don't think Trump wants us setting up shops to make MDF boxes, for all the deceased pets that are in America. I think he wants to bring back big jobs, technological jobs. He obviously is focusing his time on steel and aluminum, which is something that we definitely can do here in America.
Mhm.
So, you know, I don't think he's trying to bring the small stuff back.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, Jamie, would you agree or have any other comments?
Yep, I agree. I think the higher end urns are an option for manufacturing in the US. We did move to some, US manufacturing with our Origins line and some human urns that we have made locally, and that's going really well. But it is tough, to Ryan's point, to find those manufacturers that can do those things that they can do overseas.
Yeah. Great, great question, great answers. Have another question here. Are there any countries you haven't looked at before that are showing themselves to be a new avenue for manufacturing?
I think at Terry Bear we're kind of open to all options, but we there hasn't been anything new that popped up that hasn't been uncovered by other industries as far as we've found. So nothing has really surprised us yet in the effort to find alternative suppliers. So
Yeah, we haven't made any, quick reactions to jump to a new country. It's hard to set up shop manufacturing. It's hard to set up quality standards. It's hard to, make sure you've got staff that can oversee everything. And, you know, I think, QSI is really waiting for the dust to settle before we make any major changes. Right now, we're just, down in the trenches, weathering the storm, and waiting to see where the dust does settle. I mean, even in India, like we thought we were good. Everybody started buying Indian products because Chinese products were going up. And then just last week, they said, oh, 25% tariff on India. And on September 17th, that 25% is going to go to 50% tariff. Well, now India is being tariffed higher than China was. So everybody last month and the month before that opted to go away from Chinese products to Indian products, well, you're going to go back? Like, you can, and whatever. It's like, it's crazy. Like, it's insane. It's so unpredictable right now.
Yeah, that's I didn't realize that. That's good to know. I do have another question here that says, can I actually source from manufacturers to reduce delays? Um, is that can you go directly to the source to try to get? I guess that's the question.
yeah, and I think Ryan did a good job outlining all the pitfalls of trying to do that
Mhm.
yourself. And it's interesting because I have heard of as they implement these tariffs, there's product that gets abandoned at the border. Um,
Right.
and if you have your one pallet of product on a container that contains everyone else's products, and all of a sudden the tariffs price those products out of the market, the customer will say, "I just don't want it. Leave it at the border." And your one or two pallets of urns are on that container, you're probably not going to get those pallets of urns. And
Hmm.
that's happened to customers that I've heard of. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
another thing too is, we're doing this stuff on a daily basis. We know where the hot ports are, where the cold ones are. We know the issues of compliance of this product over that product. We have economies of scale. We're purchasing in full container volumes, and when a lot of our customers that we find that have tried sourcing themselves product with a few pallets, they're paying more for the product than we could just sell it to you out of our warehouse and ship it
Mhm.
to you in the next day. So, I think it's a time better spent if business owners and crematory owners focus on their clinics and their families and make sure that they're doing everything they do can to grow their business organically and allow the people who are losing their hair and trying to figure out what the next headache is. Let us do our job. We're going to keep our costs as low as possible, and you guys keep taking care of pets. I think that's the best way to do it. But by all means, go ahead, try. A lot of customers can do it, a lot can't. If you go through a process on your own and you come through a big hiccup or a headache, you can call me. I'll give you the best advice I can. But I think it's time better spent focusing on your business than trying to figure out the headache of importing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am so thankful to have three of our industry's top suppliers of memorial products here, and the just the information that you shared today, the advice, and knowing too that all of our members have the very best contacts to be able to reach out to, and be able to talk to and explain maybe situations or your needs, and being able to kind of talk through that and help you as members and as those that are taking care of pet parents. I really am grateful to each and every one of you for taking your time today to present this, and the work that went behind it, and just sharing your expertise and your knowledge. And I know our members are grateful as well. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate all the members that jumped on today. And know also that this will be available online through the member portal only. So if you're a member of the IAPC, you'll be able to also access it. If you want to share it with other members on your team, you'll be able to do that. And again, I'm just very thankful for each of you. And every one of these guys are going to be at the conference in San Antonio. So make sure you stop by their booths, and make sure you let them know how much you appreciate them taking their time today for the webinar. So thank
Yeah,
you.
there will be
Greatly.
drinks on boats. Who's surprised? Let's have some fun. See you guys there.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we have a really great surprise. I can't wait. It's going to be very exciting. So you're not going to want to miss it. I'm not even telling these guys about it. So we got a really cool surprise planned. So all right. Well, I will see all three of you guys next month in literally 30 days. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
month.
Have a good day.
Bye.
All
See
right.
ya.
Bye.